well, ever since Legion.
You would think.
Yeah, ever since Legion, ever since they stopped them breaking every single fight, the rogues are just... It's weird, actually. Rogues are in a bit of a weird spot.
They're blasting, but there's some classes that are just super blasting.
They haven't really got any like raid CD. Their raid CD before was I remove the mechanic by cloaking or vanishing it. You know, that's their like utility that they bring. Nowadays, it feels like that's kind of missing a little bit, just because a lot of the mechanics can't be removed that way. Of course, you still got like traps and stuff that you can go and soak with a cloak or something like that. There's still uses.
Rogues can always find a way to help out if they're not rogue players who don't want to help out at all and just want to blast. But I remember I mentioned, I think I mentioned it to Ian, and I was like, so we could maybe get Smoke Bomb back. And he looks at me.
That's a no.
No, it's not really on the cards, no. And then he just went and killed, nerfed AMZ. Let's put it that way.
AMZ's in a bit of a rough spot.
It's still useful. It's still useful.
Noggy sent out a tweet today. A bit angry about it.
What did he say?
I don't know.
I forgot my phone. I can't.
It was just angry about it.
Noggy's always angry. Always angry about something. I did not kill AMZ. That was Liquid Max. He officially did it.
Thank you.
I was just the messenger. So that's...
In all fairness, AMZ was super buff. It was unbelievably strong.
Oh, no, we're starting Kungan memes. Stop!
Hold on then. Oh, you got his
yeah, I'm just having a look. What was he raging about AMZ? I'm kind of curious. Do you think it's a good design that AMZ is consumed within 1 second?
Yeah.
Do you? Do you think it's a good design?
Yeah.
Make it scale. Do you? Answer me. Behold.
It would be amazing if the Warcraft devs account like responded and just said yes. And that's it.
Yes.
Case closed.
That was our intention. That was our intention. I mean, you still see the usage. There he is. He's figuring it out. He's looking for it. Where's that talent that buffs AMZ? It's in here somewhere. Oh, he's gone full Morspawn with the armor. Look at this, Chad. Thinks he's good. Thinks he's big. Thinks he's strong. He is.
He is big and strong, isn't he?
I was talking to him about his breath timing on Anduin. I know this is super nerdy, but let's face facts. We're watching Race to World First of World of Warcraft.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Let's not pretend we know what we're doing. And he had to hold it for so long, but he's like, yeah, but did you see when I got to those ads? And I went, I did that breath of Singragosa. And I unleashed the fury upon them. Like, he was very happy. I'm surprised anybody still enjoys pressing breath of Singragosa after so long. I was tired of it after one expansion.
If you can time it properly, though, there is like a satisfaction to it. It's like, kind of like old Surrender, right? If you remember, like Surrender to Madness for the good old days. Oh, I remember the good old days.
You're talking pre-Guam Surrender to Madness, or Guam era.
Yeah, well, pre-Guam was best because it was like 250%. Then it was like 150% or something stupid for Guam. Well, you can still do it. It was still spooky, though.
Oh, yeah, it was super spooky. But, like, original one...
was just broken.
You could do it if you had Bloodlust. You could hit the 100 club. It was great.
Yeah.
Just Bloodlust, even in low gear. I remember doing it in Violet Hold during the PTR testing. I hit the 100 there, and I was like, this is amazing.
You're so much.
And then I think I made a video on it, and I was like, guys, here's Surrender to Madness. It's the best thing in the world. It's never staying this way.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to tell you that. I was like really sad, because like there's absolutely no way this spell is staying like this.
I'm surprised it made it to live.
It shouldn't have.
No.
It should never have made it to live.
Absolutely. Well, it broke one of the bosses. It broke several of the bosses in Emerald Nightmare.
Really
like, people say that Emerald Nightmare was an easy tier. It was an easy tier because you had classes that could like triple everyone else's damage. You could just stack 5 of them and just make all the bosses like so easy.
It was one of, I mean, you try to get a Shadow Priest not to stand in the middle of everything when they can hit 2 targets.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, I was playing with a Shadow Priest, and the healers on Scenarios were just like, dude, you got to stop standing and stuff. Oh. And he just responded, dude, I'm killing the boss.
I'm literally soloing this.
Do your job, and I'll do mine. Heal me. And in all fairness, he was right.
He was right. Yeah,
normally, that is not normally the best way of going about things, but he was correct. So,
yeah. There's a topic I wanted to bring up with you, Al, because and also the chat actually. Maybe we can get even a flash pick for this if we've got it ready, just for the pick'ems. Okay. So there's been some people arriving in Hamburg to come and say hi. Mm-hmm. I did say, like, if it's on Saturday that I'll get some time to go and say hi to some people. Mm-hmm. And they've been like a few of them arrived today and came and said hi to me. And the one message shared amongst all 3 of them was heroic is insane right now, like more insane than they've ever seen it before.
That's fair.
And I was wondering how you personally felt about, and certainly the chat as well. Is how do you feel? Is heroic? There's a lot of one-shot mechanics in there. Is that too much for heroic or not?
Is heroic too hard?
Essentially, that's the question. It's like, is it too hard? Because it's...
So yeah, no, I think with heroic, whether or not it is too hard, it's certainly changed. Oh, but with regarding a flash pick, I do think we have one already up for people who want to go check that out at Echo at the pick'ems.echo.gg. But yeah, with heroic at the moment, I would definitely say they've been ramping up the difficulty of it for quite a long time. It feels like over the course of this expansion, things have been getting harder and harder. If you remember all the way back to when we was in Castle Nathriel with Sludgefist, and it was just like, yeah, don't use your legendaries, don't use your legendaries. And Sludgefist came along. I was like, everyone make legendaries now. You know, like normally heroic beforehand was just like, you know, it's chill. We just waddle on through. Yep. Get your gear. We'll be done in a couple of days, and then you can chill. And now it's just like, whoa. You know, it honestly feels like they are up in the ante with all of these heroic bosses. But I wonder why that is the case, because I don't think it's necessarily deliberate. Do you think it's because at the beginning of a patch you were so much weaker than what you will be in a couple of like weeks' time in comparison?
I have 2 tinfoil hat theories.
Go on. We should get tinfoil in here.
We should, because crackpot theory is my zone.
Right.
One is that there was another raid planned, and they pulled out the last bosses out of there because they were cool and moved them into this. So essentially, but they probably also dropped bosses out of this raid.
Oh,
to fit them in. So realistically, we might be looking at all those 11 boss raid is that several of them were actually end-wing bosses that were designed for what may, if let's say this was originally an 11 boss raid as well, but there was probably a couple of other guys in there that weren't as complex as the Zymox and things like that. So we actually have several more what we would consider end-tier, end-wing, something like that
makes
style
sense.
Bosses. It makes logical sense. It's based on nothing.
Which means, hold on. No, it is a fact.
It's a fact.
Yep,
it's a fact. We can confirm. That's just coming in. The other one is we do have these 2 very hard bridge points of ludicrous power gain that they've put in for some reason. But they do have them. One is getting a 4 set, and the other is the double legendaries, which are kind of set in stone. And once them check marks are hit, this level of difficulty we're seeing from the DPS standpoint, because not only is there a lot of one-shot mechanics, but there's also this huge amount of output required constantly. They will be alleviated somewhat.
Yeah.
And it'll come back down to being a more relatively normal experience. In the most part, besides the Rygalons and whatever, it's still going to one-clap your raid.
Yeah, no, it does feel like, it's almost like we're weak at the beginning of a patch. Whereas beforehand, like, in comparison to where they expect you to be within a reasonable amount of time, whereas beforehand, you didn't feel as puny. So, like, as an example, this patch, you can get such a big increase with just waiting for a few weeks because you'll get the double legendary, or by getting the tier bonuses, which you also get. It honestly feels like maybe they're trying to tune for... It's kind of hard to tune, right? Because do you tune it
one
for
or the
double
other.
legendary?
I think they've gone for one or the other.
Yeah.
It's like, the guys, in like 3 weeks' time, you'll either have double legendaries, or you'll have 4-piece. One of those 2 things is going to happen. If you get both, fantastic. You're going to have a much easier time. But we can guarantee you that one of those things is going to happen on the 3rd reset. And that'll be the double legendaries, right? That is hard set. Yeah. That is when that happens. Like it or not. As long as you've been keeping up, that is when they're available. You'll be able to get them.
But it feels like they should just tune it for not having it on Heroic. Heroic's supposed to be like an inaccessible
that was
thing,
again
right?
coming back to the question is, and the guys who I was talking to today, one of the things they were talking about was we're a little concerned because we don't do splits. You know, we don't do anything like that. And we're already kind of internally talking about whether we run LFR.
Yeah, no, a lot of people are. A lot of people are.
A lot of people are. It's like, do we run LFR to get legs as a guild? Like, and how does that make us kind of feel about progress? Is if we're usually a heroic clearing guild, we're fine with doing normal, right? That's fine. We do normal for a few weeks. And
just noticing the double mog there.
Is that the 4 set as well?
I'm not sure.
Is he flexing big?
He might be flexing.
I think he might be big flexing there or not. It's probably a mog. But it was one of those questions like, now do we need to also go to LFR? Because we're looking at what's happening on the screen, and now we do know this is tuned around 4 set at least.
It feels that way.
In Mythic.
Mythic is
Heroic was obviously done without it. Duh.
Yep.
We watched that a million times. But also, there are so many guilds around the world struggling right now with Heroic. I actually haven't done an update as to how many people have managed to defeat Rygalon.
Part of me thinks that it is, you know, it is doable, but I don't know. Maybe they expect if you're one of the guilds that kind of clear Heroic, maybe they expect you to kind of struggle for a little bit, and then when you get your double legendary and eventually tier, you'll be in a good spot. But I do think we will indeed have a little bit of a thought from you, chat. What do you think? Send in your messages.
Do you reckon something?
Yes. Right. If you head on over to the GG. Is Heroic too hard? Is Heroic too difficult? Tell us your reckons.
How do you feel right now?
Yeah, how do you feel right this second? Not last week, not like an hour's time. What do you think? Is it too difficult? Let us know. You can head on over
Not
to
a
the
ones
website.
and twos.
I'm expecting a lot of the fights are gonna open up now. Like you talked about BDGG having less tier sets and therefore they progress less. So it makes sense to get everyone geared up. I think there's a couple of like Liquid are kind of pumping in the 4-set department. They're looking really crazy. I think there's only like a couple of people, like I think there's like 2 or 3 people who don't have the 4-set yet, which is kind of insane.
Zyro posted
I'm
his
not.
dude earlier.
What, Zyro?
Zyronix, yeah.
But he's not even raiding with Liquid anymore, is he? He's just casting, right?
I actually have no idea. I thought he
Yeah,
was
I
still
think he's
raiding
a
with them.
full-time like caster. I think he's raiding in a different guild, but I don't know like what guild he's with.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, so he's got loot, but
Yeah.
can't help Liquid.
Don't mind me.
But I know JPC has been trying to get his hands on some loot. I'm hoping some of the pieces guys are set and no one's going to get benched specifically because they don't have tier set. Champs was saying that if he's unlucky, which I think he might be, then he's probably going to get benched and then he's going to become a caster. Because that's what happens if you don't get your tier set and you do get benched, then you just say, hey, all right, I'm not raiding this tier. I'm going to come sit with like Cy and Lithy on the couch and become a professional
Sit with the
caster.
feral druids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Looking
That
at the
must
pull counts, I
suck,
think
right?
when pieces enters Mythic, first 3 bosses are gonna fall very fast.
Yeah.
So, question is when they enter, because there's still a lot of splits to do.
Well, you say first 3. Which do you think like Zymox is going to be? So you'll have Vigilant Guardian, and then you can either go Desogne or you can go Skullx or Zymox. So which?
I would expect the Sogne, Skullx, and Guardian to flop.
Yeah. Okay.
And Artiface almost maybe a few more pulls.
You mean the sausage?
Desogne.
Yes. Yeah, I still don't know how to say the names.
What?
I don't think anybody does.
The worm?
No, that's Skullx.
Oh, that's Skullx.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But he's gonna fall, as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's basically the heroic boss, except you can't dispel the haste debuff. But if you get the haste debuff, you probably died anyway because it hurts. So, it's the heroic boss, it just hurts more.
Yeah, pretty much. Though I don't know, Liquid were having problems with the enraged timer on it. I think they killed it at like I'm trying to think of how long the fight took. I can't remember exactly, but as they were getting.
I know
closer to the
Skullx
goal,
was 6 minutes.
Is it 6 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
So the enraged time is like super tight on some of these bosses where they really don't have time to dilly-dally. They really have to optimize well. Yeah, I would agree though. I think that Skullx will definitely die quickly. Desogne, I don't know because they haven't. No, Desogne has died, right? Yeah, it's died for Liquid. Okay, yeah, so it's definitely killable and probably going to go down pretty quick.
I think I'm
Whilst the
told,
guys
so,
are doing
yeah,
their splits,
hopefully it stays
they're
that
gonna
way.
have the strategists, people like
That's
Bastu,
the
who are
situation
behind the
right now.
scenes going to be
Hopefully it
looking
remains that way.
at the
That's
strats
good,
and
but yeah,
already
thank you
looking
for
to
asking.
implement them for
There's
the
been a
team
few
so
little
they can go in and already
medical
kind of
things going on.
timings.
None of them
They'll
COVID.
already know
One of the production
positioning
team did get
where they
COVID
can
before we got here.
how
Yeah.
best to
He's
do the fight
unfortunate. Come
potentially
all
as
the way to
well.
Hamburg.
But
Can we give
something
big
that
shout-outs?
Pieces
Can we get
brought
some
up
claps
when
in the chat?
Bastu was on
Flew all the way to
the
Hamburg
other
to do
day
production
with
for the
me
race to
on,
first.
well,
Can't
yesterday
COVID,
actually
he's
was
been in
day
his
1 of the
room since
event,
start.
and he
Rough,
was
man.
He's
talking
been
about
quarantined since the start.
something that they want to try and do
We
this
wish you were
year
here,
as a
buddy.
guild.
We wish you were here.
is
So he's not been allowed out. The guys
Trust
have
in
been
themselves,
like taking
believe in
food,
their own
leaving it at the
techniques
door
and their own
whatnot,
strats
all that kind of
more
stuff,
than
but,
they have
yeah.
previously, because in
It's,
the